Jeremy Boring is stepping down as the Daily Wire CEO. These things keep compiling and I think aren't a good look, and then they start just looking like industry standard, mainstream media, legacy media way of handling things. Oof. Is Daily Wire one of those things where it's too big to fail? Like, are they that big, or is it gonna work out?
I think their audience is so niche.
Ruslan.
Jeremy Boring is stepping down as the Daily Wire CEO. Now, there's been quite a few misses over on Daily Wire.
Come on.
I think it's fair to all acknowledge
misses.
that they fumbled the Brett Cooper situation. Bad, really bad.
Those new views on that new channel, or the same channel, like doing like 20, 30, 40,000 views.
Yeah.
She opened her own channel. She's at 1.4 million subs, and every video is just
Crushing.
She's just sucking up all the energy out of the Republican media room.
Yeah, so
Hundreds of thousands of views every video.
and many people would blame this on Jeremy Boring, right? Who, it says, has announced his intention to step down from his current role to focus on creative projects. Now, I will say this. This space is fairly small, and I've had multiple people reach out to me and say, like, they've been trying to get him out.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like, folks who are like, yeah, he's a handful. They've been trying to get him out of this position. He's not a great CEO, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And we're going to look at some claims made by
Do you think the Brett Cooper fumble was one of like the things where like your job's on the line now because you wanted to be the big boss in town and strong arm Brett Cooper? And
I think yeah, heck yeah.
And they're like, dude, now we had 2 profitable shows.
Yeah, I think so. I think it definitely
gracious.
contributed to it. I think they underestimated how bad that would look. I think like all of these things definitely contributed to how the optics of this just like now here's the deal. There's been talks of him potentially wanting to divest and just walk away. There's been talks of that for a while. And so this whole situation, even though they're trying to make it like it's all intentional, right? This is clearly signaling a shift in leadership focus from the media company. So they're saying like, oh, he's just going to go to do creative stuff. It's like, it sounds like they just got a desk job for him to do where he has less power.
It's like when a pastor is having a lot of beef internally with teams, and they're like, he's stepping down to go focus on his family and go back to seminary. He's going to study. He's like, no, he's not.
Yep.
He's just got in a fight.
Yeah. So this is one of those things that is going to have ripple effects throughout this entire media landscape. And so whether or not these agreements are fair or not to the creators, as some have pointed out that they're not fair, whether or not they own your image and your rights or whatever, these things keep compiling and I think aren't a good look. And then they start just looking like industry standard, mainstream media, legacy media way of handling things.
Oof.
Right?
Yeah.
And so this is going viral. Now, this creator, again, he has some problems of his own within his whole Scopefield's Bible was Jewified and all of this other nonsense that he pushed. But he seems to be fairly connected in this world. And he put out some pretty wild statements.
I think he was putting out stuff on the Brett Cooper situation.
Yeah.
2 weeks before the Brett Cooper stuff came out, and then it all happened exactly how he said. So I think for this stuff, he might be credible, or who knows? Take it with a grain of salt.
Right. Go ahead.
The Daily Wire is going bankrupt, allegedly, and Jeremy Boring is officially out as CEO. That's right. The self-proclaimed God King of the Daily Wire is at the heart of so many scandals. And yes, he is self-described as the God King. And the email just went out today internally that he is stepping down, and now Axios is covering the story. It has not yet broken, as far as I'm aware, that private equity is moving in and looking to buy up the Daily Wire.
Yeah. Now, I heard that he wanted to sell his shares of the Daily Wire, or they're trying to get him out. So whether or not private equity is swooping in or whatever, I think that's been a thing for a while. And I don't know, but going bankrupt, I mean, maybe, I don't know how many employees, I don't know how big of a behemoth of a company that is. But there's probably a lot to running that organization. Go ahead.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me because the whole Daily Wire started off of venture capitalist money. And I feel like companies that start with venture capital always rely on venture capital. And it's not just, and it's they're like allergic to cash flow. It's like the Uber, it's like the Netflix or the Spotify. It's like all that stuff.
Yeah. I heard, rumor mill, that Silver Lake Capital is looking to buy them up. And yo, Silver Lake, you guys might want to watch this video before you think too hard about it, because there's a lot that is not in the public square right now.
This is kind of petty and savage.
blowing a deal.
Yeah, if the issue with Daily Wire is this guy, and this guy is now stepping away from running the show, that doesn't mean the Daily Wire is therefore debunked as a business. It just means they're strategically restructuring to get the guy that may be the problem out of the driver chair,
so they can seal the deal.
So they can seal the deal. So they can actually get the deal and potentially have a mass exit or whatever. But so that this is kind of janky, I think, for him to like, hey, you guys may want to watch. It's like, well, they're doing the things that they would need to do to make sure the company is healthy by pulling this guy out of a situation of power.
Hello.
We're about to get into stuff like canceled credit cards, lying to the press, trying to trick Tim Pool. As far as I can tell from my sources, even people inside of the Daily Wire only know part of the story, and they're all kind of getting played against each other. It's a whole mess. And the most important part of this mess is that the Daily Wire has a long history of treating their employees like shit. And so I've had numerous sources inside the Daily Wire for
Hide your kids.
Thank you.
Hide your wife.
Explicit.
Now, I know folks that have worked there. I've never heard this. I've never heard that they're treated poorly. I've heard of people treated poorly at other conservative media outlets, like firsthand accounts.
Oof.
Like cats getting $25 Starbucks gift cards for Christmas bonuses and making sure that everyone said thank you to the owner. Zach knows exactly what I'm talking about.
That's crazy.
Right? So we've heard of stuff like that. I've never heard of anyone from Daily Wire have a gripe with them outside of like, yeah, they're long hours. They're grueling long hours. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know?
quite some time because everyone hates them, even their own people. That's not to mention the numerous sources outside of the Daily Wire that did not take the NDA money on the way out. Like, I had people literally in my comments on Instagram offering to give me dirt on the Daily Wire because they hated the Daily Wire so much. It's out of control. And it all centers around the God King and his fucking massive ego. And his lifelong desire to be a famous actor and make it in Hollywood, which he failed.
This is just weird. This dude wants to be a movie star? Like, how long has this been a thing?
Yeah. So apparently, in the very beginning, Jeremy Boring was supposed to be the talent, and Ben Shapiro was supposed to be kind of the behind-the-scenes guy.
Okay.
Ben Shapiro blows up. Jeremy Boring becomes the behind-the-scenes guy. Ben Shapiro becomes the
talent.
The talent, exactly.
Probably soul crushing for someone that wanted to be in front of the camera.
Yeah. I mean, if that's not,
Wouldn't you just find someone else to be the operator, though?
And like also be talent?
And then also be talent.
Yeah.
Right?
Hello.
If he wanted to be the guy in front of the camera, just be the guy in front of the camera. Start your own show.
Yeah.
And then divvy up some of the tactical responsibility of running the day-to-day operations.
Yeah, who knows?
That originally years and years and years ago. And so once the Daily Wire was off the ground, he just couldn't help but try to turn the Daily Wire into a Hollywood movie studio and produce the Pendragon series. Note that this article is from 2023. And he said that he had dreamt of bringing this book to the screen for 25 years. It was due to stream exclusively on Daily Wire Plus in 2024. Why didn't that happen? That's a good question. And that leads to us talking about all the Daily Wire's employees' credit cards getting frozen. Allegedly.
Interesting too. I think Brett Cooper's still shooting that series. She's the star in the show.
Really?
Yeah.
She's still under contract?
I think they're still filming. I think they might have finished filming. She lived in Denmark for like 6 months or something.
Oh my gosh.
And they did her show remotely there.
Wow.
While they filmed the Pendragon cycle. But like,
what is it? What is the Pendragon? Is it some book he loved, or what is it?
It's some fantasy book that he liked that they turned into. It's like a daggone
He
Lord of the
decided to
Rings
do a
Narnia
whole, oh my gosh,
crossover with conservative media. It's pretty cringe, bro.
That's bad. I mean, look.
Did we see the trailer real quick?
No.
Maybe another one.
I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to diversify and make media.
Yeah.
Right? I just think I have a massive update for you. I'm sure by this point you've heard about the Blessed God Summit happening March 27th, 28th, 29th here in beautiful Carlsbad, California. But we've heard your requests. We've conceded to your demand. There are virtual tickets that are now available for the Blessed God Summit, so you can access it from anywhere in the world, as well as access to the replays. And for those of you guys that are looking for something extra, we're also offering a virtual ticket and an exclusive Bless God Summit merch bundle. There's some amazing art and some exclusive pieces done by our friend Josh Nadeau from Sword and Pencil that you have to check out. So join us online for the virtual event and experience some sessions from my favorite podcasters, pastors, and performers. We have a stacked lineup. I'm talking about Preston Perry, Dr. Sean McDowell, Inspiring Philosophy. What do you mean? Lila Rose, Alan Parr, and his wife Jen Parr. We even have Nate Sala from Wise Disciple, Gavin Ortland, David Wood, Avery from God Logic Apologetics. And on the pastoral side, we have my friend Daniel Golding, Pastor Ed Newton from CBC in San Antonio, and my personal pastor from Rhythm Church, Pastor Jeff Moores and his wife Erin Moores. You won't want to miss out from amazing performances from America's Got Talent winner Dustin Savella, Billboard charting hip-hop artist John Keith, and Miles Minnick. And we're still finalizing a few more speakers. So head over to blessgod.shop, get your virtual ticket now, and you can get yourself a bundle with some of the exclusive merch as well. I'll see you over there, all right? Peace. In order to do it and not go bankrupt, you have to be feisty and scrappy with how you do it. You can't go from like startup to like, now we're going to be a Hollywood studio.
We're going to do a $50 million TV series.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Like you have to still be agile and lean with doing this. And it sounds like that's not what was happening. It sounds like they went into industry standard mode and then nothing was being bootstrapped anymore.
Yeah.
If I had to read between the lines.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just to first set the stage, though, producing a Hollywood movie is like a huge multi-million dollar undertaking. It is not the same as filming Ben Shapiro talking really fast at liberals. So I've actually been...
Why we gotta go at the...
Come on, man.
collecting information on this story
Shapiro
for quite
talking very loud. That's funny. Talking
some
fast
time
enough.
here.
Got him.
And now that it has officially broken in the news, I think my sources are a little safer to talk about this. Because they're portraying it as though Jeremy Boring is willingly stepping back to work on creative projects like the Pendragon Cycle, and that he'll remain with the company in an advisory role. My sources are telling me that the Pendragon Cycle is being moved off-site and out of the Daily Wire's physical purview because they're not letting Jeremy Boring back in the building right now, apparently. Jeremy Boring was 100% allegedly forced out, not a willing leave. And that's because this financial problem has been going on for years. They had recently had to table all projects and do a hiring freeze because there was no money in the bank, allegedly. All the way back in 2023, Jeremy and Ben Shapiro apparently had to put money into the Daily Wire, their own personal money, to rescue it. That money has not been reimbursed and it is all gone. The Pendragon Cycle is over budget by like $50 million or something, allegedly. And at the end of 2024, this problem got so bad that Jeremy Boring apparently started lying to the press to try to drum up interest for a sale. This is when, conveniently, it leaked that Fox News was considering buying the Daily Wire. That was never in the works. That was just to try to drum up interest so that hopefully someone else would rescue their asses. I've heard that the Murdochs actually personally hate Jeremy Boring.
Well, of course,
allegedly.
I mean, of course they would hate him.
Yeah. His whole thing is
Murdoch's
legacy
own
media.
Yeah, they own Fox News.
Yeah.
What do you think? They're
Part
gonna
of Fox News.
They're going to be happy
The other part
with
is BlackRock.
with Daily Wire?
Yeah.
Of course they're going to hate him. So, yeah.
Come on.
Just like pretty much everyone else. Like even Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring, it sounds like there's a huge rift between them from what I'm hearing. There's even rumors that I can't confirm quite yet that Ben Shapiro hired his own PR person like months ago. Brett Cooper was basically like their last profitable endeavor right now. I assume they make a little bit off Matt Walsh, but I'm not quite sure and I can't confirm. Their election coverage during the 2024 election absolutely bombed. Sounds like just like most Daily Wire products, they dropped a shitload of money into production and did not nearly recoup the costs. So then you remember when Tim Pool was like kind of like rearranging his business and all sorts of weird stuff was happening there? I don't even know if Tim knows this yet directly, but it sounds like the Daily Wire was trying to manipulate him into buying the Daily Wire and trying to present it as super profitable.
Pause it. What does it say? After being named by the DOJ as a paid Russian propagandist, a very nervous Tim Pool announced his show was over because he's rich, can't find enough people to operate a camera, and wants to spend more time with family.
Dang, they did him dirty, huh? Was that his? Was that his post? I think that's
no, someone's torching him. Yeah. So anyway, I don't want to go any deeper on this, but it seems like they tried to allegedly give the show to Tim Pool in exchange for stock, and he smartly enough didn't do that. And Jordan Peterson is still over there. I don't know how that situation is working and what is that.
Poor guy.
You know, but props to Jordan Peterson for starting his own university. That's pretty smart. So. Is Daily Wire one of those things where it's too big to fail? Like, are they that big, or is it going to work out?
I don't know, but Brett Cooper posted this.
Oh, no. Brett Cooper.
Just the GIF.
Daily Wire co-CEO Jeremy Boring stepped down.
I mean, if that doesn't confirm who her beef with who her beef was with,
Yeah.
then I don't know what does. Like that's clearly like the person that she had a problem with just got fired. I actually had a client like that.
Mm-hmm.
I had a client that like flipped out on some photos I sent him. I didn't use enough noise reduction, and so the photos were a bit grainy. And he was like, "What is this?" Da, 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 da. He's like, "You're fired." Whatever. And I had the client for like 8 months. And I was like, "All right." And then I circled back out like a couple months later, and they're like, "Hey, he's actually left the company for personal reasons or whatever." And I was like, "Look how that worked out." So this is probably how it feels. It's like you're the one freaking out on me, and now you're gone too.
Yeah. I mean, she probably feels vindicated.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm the only one with a successful show out of the two of us.
Yeah, I don't know how they fumbled this so bad.
Yeah, I think that was her response. Yeah, so you're saying are they too big to fail?
Is someone going to step in?
Oh, someone going to step in. That's hard. I think their audience is so niche. It's like creating an audience that will eat you if you take a misstep. They're not as malleable as like the Fox News watchers. So like Fox buys Daily Wire. People aren't as stoked. I mean, I guess technically, the comment section still has viewership. Like that always blows my mind. That there's people that are like
still watch it.
Yeah.
How many people do you think are just hate watching at this point?
Well, I checked their most recent comments, and there's people that are just like talking about the stories that she's covering. But again, it's like, I mean, it's literally like 10x less than it was before in viewership. So I don't think it's a sustainable business if all of this goes down as publicly as it is, because the audience is curated off of this idea that we're sticking it to the man and all this stuff. You start to become the man. You start to become all PR face. You start to sell the private equities, sell all these big businesses, and then all you got left is a Matt Walsh. Jordan Peterson is pretty much not even involved. He just collects a bag from them, and puts a DW logo in the bottom right of his videos.
There's some behind the paywall stuff.
Oh yeah. But what I'm saying is that like publicly, he kind of operates in his own. He doesn't even read his own ad reads. You know what I'm saying? Matt Walsh is like really all they got left. If Matt Walsh dipped,
Michael Knowles
is not floating the boat. No.
Yeah, Ben Shapiro's views are pretty down too.
Michael Knowles could survive on his own independently, but he's not floating the boat. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not making movies with Michael Knowles, and he's not trending and going viral in during the DNC and like having moments that they need to stay up. So, I mean, it's even arguable if Matt Walsh is floating the boat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's
I'd be curious
such a big boat.
How many paid annual members they have? Because at the peak they had 1 million people.
Well,
that were paying the whatever $100 a year.
But the punchline, and this is some behind the scenes. We were talking to a creator that had a membership community, and what he did was that he bundled a sale of a product with a year-long membership for his monthly community. When it came time to renew, no one renewed because they were really just buying the product and not the paid membership community. So the community didn't hold enough value in the people's eyes to re-up. And so his perceived numbers of like, oh, I have X amount of thousands of people dropped immediately. There was no revenue coming in. He just shut down the community. I wonder how much of that is similar to their system at Daily Wire. By a year, so you can get the Matt Walsh thing, it's 56% off. You can watch the movie. But when it comes around next year, it's like, oh, it was just cheaper to watch the movie that way. Or I wanted to watch the movie this way. Or I wanted to watch the election coverage. So I just paid for the year. But like, there's not another election for 4 years. So it comes around next year. I wonder how many of their
That's a good point.
monthly, it looks really inflated because they're selling a product with it. But at the end of the day, like people aren't actually renewing or having that cash flow.
Jeez.
So I think that's the hard part. It's like it's probably enough to like be okay, but I don't know. Whenever I hear these companies that operate super sloppy, it's kind of spooky.
Venture capital, monopoly money
vibes, and then they get really big and they have corporate, and then you start hearing horror stories about employees. Like when you're big enough to where you have employees that have to speak or that do speak out. Even if it's not true, it's like you're really big. Like Dave Ramsey like holds on for dear life because he built Dave Ramsey land, right? Like and he did it all cash. That's where Dave Ramsey. I think that's where Dave Ramsey survives. Is because it's all cash. So he can't really get canceled because he doesn't have anything on the line. But a lot of these, it's the startup world, you know, and it's like at the end of the day, Daily Wire is a startup. And Glassdoor, a Daily Wire.
I'm just curious.
What do they have? 2.3 stars out of 5?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
On Glassdoor, they have 2.3 stars out of 5. They have 23 reviews.
Click on it.
Can you read the reviews?
Probably not.
Oh.
Yeah, you need to log in. Yeah, 2.3 stars. Okay. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to comment below and subscribe and all that good stuff. And check out this other video that YouTube seems to be recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right? I'll see you over there. Peace.